Word.
No sensitive.
Peace, y'all. It's Brother Cool.
Alicia.
So, first of all, let me just see this real quick. See what's up. Brother sent me an email in regards to a couple questions. So I'm giving him a shout out. Brother Markville Gilmore.
Thank
So
you,
I
brother.
wanna thank you, brother. I wanna thank him for sending over this PDF of questions, which he laid out 10 questions in this PDF. So I told him I would make a video answering it, and my man Helisi's here to help me with that process, and we're gonna build while we're doing it. So let's just get right into it.
And first of all, let me just say my extra kudos to this. It was a brother, sister? Brother. Thank you, brother. You know, shit don't gotta be hard. I appreciate how he typed up the questions like this and everything.
Yeah, yep.
Emailed the attachments. So thank you for your precision and your organization. That really matters.
Definitely put some energy into it.
Definitely matters, man. And I felt that energy as an administrator. I received that you were organized. Thank you. I can't express that enough. So I will just say, as we go forward in our endeavors to answer people's questions, when you're precise and you give us the boom, bam, boom, 1, 2, 3, that really helps us know how to help people. So thank you, brother.
Boom.
So without further ado, we can just slide right on into these questions. Number 1. When I change my name, does that affect my current corporate name and status? I think because there were this is a question that's 2 parts. I think we should answer that first. Okay. Or should I just ask it all out?
You can ask it all out. So can you so let's just reread it again.
Sure. So it says, when I change my name, does that affect my current corporate name and status? Is the new name still tied into the old name and status? Good question.
Good question. That's a great question, actually. So, no. If you're just doing a name correction, no, you're not changing the status nor the commercial status of the corporate entity. It's much more than just a name correction.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you gotta. We have to understand, and understand that it's about the proclamation, the declaration of who we are, and being who we are. We need to have those titles or those names that have that attachment to our ancestry. For example, if you met a man named Li Wangji, I'm hoping you would assume he's from somewhere in Asia, Korea, China, Malaysia. Any one of those would be correct, but the mere fact that by his name, you can properly classify his ancestry.
Sure.
So now if you met Li Wangji and he turned out to be a Russian dude, hey, what's going on? I met a Russian guy named Li Wangji. That would be weird. So now the ancestral titles that tie us here to our ancestors on this continent are El Bey Allen Ali. You know what I'm saying? So it's a one and a two thing. It's not just name correction.
Mm-hmm.
So upon properly declaring your nationality and correcting your name that ties you back to your ancestors here, then you know what I'm saying, you can go and make the proper changes commercially.
Mm-hmm.
Either if you're going to do it with a social, not that I recommend you should use that to do further business. However, you still want to go in there and correct it. You at least want to change the race and ethnicity and remove that black off of that. You know what I'm saying? Because black is not a status you want to be in your privacy or in their system.
And we just want to say for the record that not that, like you said, not that you want to do any further business with that old Social Security, but whatever. Some people have business with that Social Security. Some people are waiting for Social Security payouts. Some people are waiting for pensions. Some people have retirements tied up with that Social Security. So once you make the nationality, it is important that you understand business. Okay, this
Yep.
is business trust law. You have to now see that social security number as an entity that the free national name is now doing business as. I mean, yeah, that person you're now conducting business on the behalf of. So
Yeah,
you
but not to cut you off, but like I said, I wouldn't suggest that you do
sure.
public business in that straw because you don't have the copyrights to that straw. However, you are the principal, so therefore, um, you can't be charged, or that birth certificate can't be used against you. You know what I'm saying? To be charged only if you claim that proper certificate through the proper steps.
Well, and I guess,
Mhm.
like I said, I gave that illustration because, like, I know someone who's waiting for their social security
Mhm.
answer of yes or no, right?
Yes.
And so I told her, I said, once you make your name declaration, when you update in their records, if you update, you're only updating the name, okay?
Mhm.
You're attaching the free national name just for business congruency,
Yes.
okay? Because you will never have an ID again that has the old name on it. But
Yes.
let's say you don't, you wouldn't have to do that either.
Mhm.
But it's just good just for business sake
Yes,
to have
absolutely.
records updated, and then you know the exact locations where the social security is being operated. If you are waiting for your payout, after you get your payout,
Mhm.
you never use that social security number again, because now you just get your payout until you kick the bucket, you know?
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
that's just that's old business. That's an example of you making the
Mhm.
change, but keeping old business with the social, but definitely no new business.
Exactly how Prophet Urali said it.
Mm-hmm.
Said keep your old business in the past and do new business in your free national name.
Islam. So, and then so to answer the second part says, is the new name still tied into the old name and status? Did you hit that?
Well, yes, if you're just doing an incorrection. Now, if you do it properly, then no, that is not tied into the same name and status because on that form you should make sure to place the entity as not a U.S. citizen.
Mm-hmm.
You should hit other.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then make sure you have your declaration of proclamation, which you filed on the public record, attached to that.
And just so we're clear, know that you would never put your private EIN number on. If you do have business that you're tying up and finishing with Social Security or any public administration, you would never put your private number, foreign number, would never go associated with any public records. That is uniquely private.
Don't mix public and private.
Yes, Ashe. Number 2, should we slide in?
Yes.
When I get an EIN number, does that make my new name a trust because it has a TIN number? Will I be able to put my current public name under the control of the foreign trust, or do I lose my nationality? Did you get that?
Yeah.
So let me hit you told me to read them out first, and then so let's dissect it. When I get an EIN number, does that make my new name a trust because it has a TIN?
No. Just by getting an EIN number, you can get a domestic EIN number. Now, does that put you in a different jurisdiction? Nope. So to be specific, you got to make sure you get a foreign EIN number that is outside the jurisdiction of the United States. Commercially, we're not talking about the land. We're not foreign to the land. Commercially, we're foreign to the United States. The United States is just here to do business. So as far as that goes, it depends now. If you put the entity in your free national name, if the name of the entity is your free national name, then yes, you can conduct business or whatever name it is.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But if you ask my suggestion, it should always be a free national name as the legal name of the entity, and then you have your trade name or your DBA name.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's always an option. So what's the second part of that question?
So, and I want to make sure that we're answering the question right, because they've made specific They said, when I get an EIN number, does that make my new name a trust because it has a TIN? So they're making reference to two different numbers. And I want to make sure that people understand
Yes.
that who you are nationally is a declaration to be announced as on a self level, okay?
Right.
These EIN numbers and TIN numbers only reflect who you are as they are related to treaties made with indigenous people who you identify that you're connected to. So I want to make sure that the number only means something because of the connection with you being identified as indigenous, and then your entity being foreign and not being associated with a United States address. That's why we don't use PO boxes or certain things that are tied to the United States Postal Service. So you got to make sure that you don't put yourself in their jurisdiction because it's the agreement with the treaty that gives the number the power to be foreign. So I want to make sure that we're understanding our nationality in conjunction with commerce.
But yes, you're absolutely correct. Just to clarify, the EIN, like you said, TIN is just another name for EIN. So there's no difference in terms of, you know what I'm saying, that those terms, TIN, EIN. Tax identification numbers, there's different types of tax identification numbers. There's employer identification numbers, there's social security numbers, there's an individual tax identification number. You know what I'm saying? Various other things. So a TIN encompasses all those. So an EIN is a TIN. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Just remember, it's the filing status. That treaty gives the filing status the power to make you tax exempt. Okay? I just want to make sure that people are understanding that who you know you are, we're just teaching you how to operate in commerce. Okay?
Commerce does not dictate your nationality.
Exactly. So that brings us to the second part of their question was, will I be able to put my current public name trust under the control of my foreign trust?
Yes, you can. You know what I'm saying? You should create it as an estate, which you can do, you know, on the IRS website. And you can make your foreign trust the responsible party of that estate for the straw and the social security number. And then a new EIN number will be assigned for that estate, which will now be under the jurisdiction of your private trust. But, you know, those are just different ways of different protections or layers of just securing yourself. That way it can't be that straw, which is attached to that birth certificate, can be used against you. That's it. That's all it's there for. It's not there to be used to do commerce, because then at that point you're still doing business in another man's name. Sure. Even if you get a foreign EIN and then you make your a free national name the legal name, but then you make the straw name the DBA name, you're still doing business in another man's name. You get what I'm saying? You're still doing business in another man's name. Be yourself from beginning to end. Be yourself.
And then the third part of the question was, or do I lose my nationality?
I think I answered that in my last statement, but once again, the question is no. Who you are is not dictated by commerce. If I say I sell rings or jewelry, you know what I'm saying? Just because I stop selling rings or jewelry, does that mean that I'm still not a jeweler? You don't know what I'm doing in my off time. You know what I'm saying? So if you contract, right? A contract is just a piece of paper. So if you contract with someone, does that change who you are as a being? Like if I contract with a European, now am I European?
Right, and then
or am I still indigenous?
Let's make this clear. You can always know who you are, but this is why it's the second part of that is understanding the commerce side, because you could be your free original self.
Mhm.
And if you don't understand, if you cannot read, if you don't understand etymology, and if you do not understand contract law and how to operate in commerce thoroughly, the processes,
Mhm.
then you could put your free self into a debtful,
Yeah.
unhonorable
Right
situation.
back into slavery,
You
right
know what I
back under the
mean? So
jurisdiction of the
you
U.S.
you would still be your national self but that self is now a slave.
Hmm.
And then remembering that who you are on paper, the paper is only a reflection of the flesh and blood being. That could never be lost. Can you, so.
Yeah, because like, what if the county courthouse burns down?
Hmm.
Then what? Is everyone gonna be freaking out like, oh my God, the county courthouse burnt down where I filed everything. I lost my nationality. No, that's not the case. If
Right.
you still know who you are, then that's who you are.
Okay, so number 3, is it necessary to do a UCC 1 for the public name after becoming a foreign trust? Explain, please. What about putting my family under trust, foreign or public? Do I dissolve or keep?
Well, let's answer the first part of that, dealing with the
Okay,
UCC.
so let me read that. Is it necessary to do a UCC 1 for the public name after becoming a foreign trust?
Now, the answer to that is yes. You should do a UCC 1. Now, it is very important for people to understand that the UCC is pretty much the commercial constitution of how every nation operates commercially. So the UCC is for commerce, not for nationality. It's for commerce. How to secure your property, and it's based on the laws of Hammurabi. All right, the king of Babylon. So this is an ancient practice in making sure people are securing their shit. All right. So when you file a UCC, you're supposed to file it as a non-UCC. When you file it as a non-UCC, it is a public record, a commercial public record of property rights being established by the owner and the property. Now, if you don't have that on file as a non-UCC, then you're going to be caught up in their game. It's not about commercial, it's about establishing ownership. That's what status is based on. So if you're black, property can't own property. You don't have no rights to own nothing. Now, if you're in your proper self, in propria persona sui juris, um, solo proprio sui heritis, you know what I'm saying? Then at that point, you have a right to a claim. So you can establish that as a non UCC for the public record commercially. You know what I'm saying? And depending on your state, if you file it in your particular state, like for Washington, filing a UCC here is not only domestic, but it's also international. So some states are like that, some states are not. Some states you may just file it in wherever they file it at, and then you might have to send one over to Puerto Rico, which is where the United States is housed at. All right, so you just got to know that. Non UCC, we're not doing that for commercial purposes. We're just establishing ownership rights. That's it. So
Okay.
yes to that, but make sure you're being very specific.
And you know what? I didn't mean to curve you like that, but
Mm-hmm.
I curved you because I don't want people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a process person, and it's tremendously important that people understand process right now. The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and on down,
Mm-hmm.
because we don't want to give you too many understandings of UCC if you haven't first declared your nationality on public record. There are things you cannot get the cart before the horse, so to speak.
Correct.
So,
Yeah.
let me. They says what about putting my family under the trust? This is the second part of that. Number 3. What about putting my family under the trust, foreign or public? Do I dissolve or keep?
Now, here's the beautiful part. Once you establish a foreign trust, you can create domestic entities with local offices, but they'll still share the same treaty protections as the original. Just think about a mother and a child. The child have the same protections as the mother. All right. So you can operate like that, whether you want to do that publicly or you want to maintain things privately. Now, as far as putting your family under the trust, that's based on you. It's your trust. It's your trust. So it shouldn't be you asking someone, should I put my family in my trust? I'm asking you, should you put your family in your trust? Do you think that's a good idea?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Should we do number 4?
So yes, put your family in your trust. If you feel that you want to secure them and make sure that they have inheritance, you know what I'm saying, after you transition. So absolutely, you want to do that. But I want to make sure to emphasize the fact that this is your trust. This is your world. You're the creator of it. You're not asking someone, how should I? What should I? What should I make as the qualifications of membership? How should I set this up? That's for you to decide, God, because you're creating your universe. That's not for you to ask. If you're asking me that, you're showing that you're not ready. That's like my daughter coming to ask me, "Hey, Dad, can I move out?"
Uh-oh.
On cue. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe we can only answer 4 questions.
Yeah, we'll stop here. But just to end on this note, she's asking me, "Hey, Dad, can I move out?" I'm gonna say no. The mere fact she's asking me shows me that she's not ready. Now, when she comes to me, "Dad, I'm ready to move out."
Yeah, and in
That's
the
the
wisdom,
difference.
in the wisdom of one of my mentors, I learned it is better to ask forgiveness than to ask permission. And on that note, family, we are going to tend to our little and
Pacifier.
deliver y'all part 2 to this video.
Yes.
To get the rest of those questions answered. But please, by all means, questions roll in. You can email either of us.
Yes, you can email me at suuneluniversity@gmail.com. That's SUUNELUNIVERSITY@gmail.com.
And then now you can mothers that want a thorough, detailed understanding, families, honestly, whoever, contact either of us. I'm at wisdommedicine@gmail.com. That's WIZDOME. Medicine, MEDICINE, wisdommedicine@gmail.com. Peace.
Peace. Love the little ones. Take care of them.
Love the children.